Hi, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm sharing 5 ways we are clearing our house of toxins and toxic chemicals. Okay, so a couple of months ago, I kind of went through this research journey of trying to figure out how to kind of clean up our home in a non-toxic way. Clean up our home, clean up our bodies. And I discovered that not only are the things that we put in our body important, but the things that we put on our body and around our body are just as important as well. And so I went on this quest to clear our home of toxins. And so I'm going to share with you 5 ways that I am actively doing that as we speak. Some of the tools that I'm utilizing and ways that I'm handling, kind of clearing out the toxins and making sure that we have the cleanest atmosphere to live and breathe in that's possible. So the first thing that I began to do was to run air purifiers 24/7. When our baby was born, we had purchased a couple of air purifiers just to keep her from getting sick. And as I was reading up on it, it's really more beneficial if you run them 24/7, not just when you have a house full of guests. And so we have a couple strategically placed throughout the house that are running all the time. And then we change the filters, the HEPA filters, and then periodically. And this is to cut down on some of the environmental toxins that might be floating around in the house. These can run anywhere between $50 to $100 for a standard air purifier. You can get them on Amazon. We've seen them in our local home goods store. We've seen them if you have a Menards nearby, we know that they're there. So if you just find one that is a HEPA filter air purifier, we plug it in and it goes, like I said, 24/7. The next thing we began to do was to replace personal care and home care chemicals or products, from shampoos and conditioners to lotions and body washes to makeup to floor cleaner, window cleaner, things of that nature. And what I've been using to do all of that is a couple of apps, Yuka, Y-U-K-A, and Clearya, it's Clearya. Both of those apps I have utilized to go through for personal care products as well as home care products to make sure that the chemicals that are used in them are clean and toxin free. And those apps are both free. I know that there are other apps on there. There's one that's called Think Dirty that I've tried, but I really feel like Yuka and Clearya are a little bit more user-friendly at this point, a little easier to figure out, where you can like scan a barcode on one of them to see what ingredients are in there and if they're considered safe or not. And this kind of bypasses like the FDA and the EPA and goes and looks at the actual chemicals in them and how safe or effective that they would be with humans. And what I would say is, when you start doing this, only do this on the products that you're ready to replace, because it would be really easy to take this app all around your house, scan them, be appalled at what you're putting on or around your body, and then you're left with this huge bill when you go to replace everything. So what I have started to do is, as I run out of certain products, then I'll scan that product, determine whether or not that it was safe enough for my use. If it wasn't, then I go out and I get a replacement item that is safe and that does kind of show up on these apps as clean. And doing it that way means that the overall that you're spending is pretty comparable to what you're normally spending every week as you replace products, instead of this big long bill of all of these things that you're replacing all at once. So only scan when you're ready to replace, and that will keep you from having to have this huge bill as you replace them all at once. The third thing that we are doing is cleaning up our diet, and we're choosing to focus on whole organic foods. And that means down to buying organic produce, grass-fed meats, and things of that nature. And I've been using the Bobby approved app. If you follow Flav City on any of the social medias, he's all about anti-inflammatory foods. And so he developed an app. You can go through the store and scan the barcode on products, and it will say if it's Bobby approved or not Bobby approved. And Bobby approved products are those that don't have inflammatory things in them. Certain oils are inflammatory, as well as certain additives. And then we've also been buying organic. So I use the Clean 15 and the Dirty Dozen to determine what things I buy organic and what things I don't buy organic. And the Clean 15 are 15 items from the grocery store that you can buy that you don't have to necessarily get organic, because they're relatively safe if you wash them and peel them and things of that nature. And so I will include in the description box below the Clean 15 and the Dirty Dozen. The Dirty Dozen are 12 products, grocery products that you should buy organic, because they are typically known as dirty. They are sprayed with chemicals, and these are typically things that you would eat the skin of as well when you're eating them. So things like strawberries, grapes, apples, things of that nature would be considered things that you would probably want to buy organic, because they are dirty and you don't want to eat things that have been sprayed with chemicals. And so those are the standards that I use for at least buying produce. And then I've switched to buying like organic grass-fed meats and organic dairies, non-GMO things. And so in using the Bobby approved app, that's helped me determine what products are actually good if they are minimally processed, and then buying whole organic foods that aren't processed is what we want to be focusing on. And that's something that we started focusing on as well for our toddler, and so we do that for ourselves now too. The fourth thing is that we are getting rid of standard candles, and we're replacing them with essential oil diffusers, which are better for you. And we are also looking into replacing those candles with beeswax or soy oil candles that have essential oils in them. And so what we're wanting to do is decrease the amount of POCs that are in the house, and those are dangerous chemicals that we would breathe with things like candles or home freshening sprays. Those are things that you don't want to have in the house as well, because they're things that we breathe in, and they're chemicals that really aren't good for us or for our systems. And so getting rid of candles that are commercially made, replacing them with either beeswax or soy wax candles that are scented with essential oils, or just using the essential oil diffusers. And I've found that there are an array of recipes on things like Pinterest about certain smells that you can get. I like to mix things like cinnamon and vanilla, because I like the spicy smells, especially in the fall. And those are things that I can diffuse in my diffuser, and the house smells just like a candle is burning in it, except for it doesn't have a bunch of chemicals in the air that we're breathing. And so that's something that you can do. And then the other thing is dusting and washing things like curtains and linens regularly, things that would, get really dusty pretty fast. If there's dust on them, there's probably other toxins on those surfaces. And so if we're washing those things regularly, then we're getting rid of those things in our home and in our atmosphere, and cleaning up the air a little bit more. So those are the 5 things that we have done to clear the toxins out of our home. And I will be sharing more in the future about specific products that we've switched to, as I find ones that I feel like are really things that I can recommend, which there are a few of them now that I'm ready to recommend heartily. And so that will be coming in the future. If you have any questions, or if you want to add your own how to clear your house of toxins tips in the comments below, I would love to hear it. And until next time, have a good day.